Hello, in this video I'm going to be talking through my process recording the drums for Iris. So once again with this track I started recording drums with Elliot, and this time he definitely was able to get the tempo, and they were good drum recordings, but I didn't personally feel that they matched the vibe of what I wanted for this song, so I struggled with that a little bit, but I'll play you Elliot's takes with the track. I felt in two minds about these drums because I definitely did like them and they did add to the track, and I really liked the it was just adding that beat into the song that I wanted, but I just wasn't certain about whether they were right for the emotional impact of this section, because it builds and it builds and it's quite a long song, so I really wanted this end section to give everything that it had. So I spoke with Nick about this, and I did I mixed these with linear EQ and compression for all of them. I used linear EQ. They all have different effects for each of them, and compressor. I found because these were quite heavy on the cymbals, I had to do quite a lot of cuts in the high end to make it a lot less sharp. But these weren't too difficult to edit. I only had to comp the start section, and then the rest of it was completely fine. Just in this take, there were a couple beats that are, well, if you can see here, he starts at the right time. In these other tracks, he wasn't quite sure where to start. And as I had them muted whilst he was recording, so he couldn't hear himself, I couldn't hear him asking me where to start. So I finally caught him asking me where to start in between one of recordings, and I was like, oh God, I'm sorry, I didn't know you were asking me that. And I told him where to start, so this is where he got it right, so I used this take. And then the rest of take 4 was the best out of all of them, so I kept that. And that's the same for each of the tracks. So moving on from Elliot's takes, I wanted to work with Ollie because Ollie really, really nailed the emotional impact of Dismantle It, and I feel like his drumming style just matches what I was after. So here are Ollie's takes. softer in this end section. Comping these were quite difficult. If I turn on editing selection, you will be able to see. Sorry, it's being very, very annoying. There we go. So, yeah, lots of comping with this track. As you know, there were some notes that were just slightly off, and I just wanted them to be on beat because this song is in 3/4, and I feel sometimes it's harder to get drums to be exactly on beat when they're in 3/4. One take, new take, back to that take. I really liked this fill that he did here, and this one I didn't feel worked with the tempo of the track. I liked what he was going for, and I feel like with more time to practice on the song, that would have been great. But I felt keeping it to a simple few notes made it different. And then I liked this best, take 5 of the end section, so I kept that. It was quite hard to get this to comp together and work, as you can see by how many, like, new take, new take, new take, like, it's a lot. But the editing selection definitely helps because I didn't always realise that. And then I had a conversation with Stephen Graham about it, and I asked if there was any easier ways to do it rather than to drag on every single one. And they suggested to put it in groups. And I tried that and it didn't work. So I had a Google and I looked at the instructions, and this button, editing selection, turns it so that everything you do to one track happens to the rest of them, and you can turn on that for automation, volume, basically everything. So yeah, that's the comping of those drums. Where did they go? There they are. So specifically here we have the kick drum coming in. Where does that come in? Does that come in there? Yeah. But I felt that I wanted the kick to be a bit more spaced out without messing with the rest of the kick sound, so I duplicated that audio. And I put a lot of Space Designer on it, up the size and the length, and messed with these until it sort of boomed out underneath the track, but I didn't want to lose the clear sound of the actual kick, so I felt that duplicating it and doing that definitely worked. And here, to help this section come in a little bit easier, I reversed the sound of a cymbal with a lot of reverb on it so that it sort of builds up into when this happens. Yeah. And so I have a hell of a lot of reverb on there because no matter how I managed to do it, I just couldn't get it to shum up as much as I wanted it to. So I just added layer after layer, and I eventually got to the result that I wanted to. So I upped the size a lot. I put on an effect called sustain plate so that it sustains, obviously. That's that reverb. I have Chromaverb also doing a similar thing. I have Silververb doing a similar thing, and then another Space Designer. And I'm pretty sure the bus it's going to also has Chromaverb on it, but I will get to the bus in a moment. I also cut out 3 snare hits from, where did I cut it out? Here. I cut out 3 snare hits to hit before it starts, and it was quite hard to get these to time up correctly and not sound weird and hit right when these begin. So these together sound like this, if you can imagine, with the rest of the track. You don't have to imagine, I'll play them. So yeah, I felt that helped improve the transition quite a lot. On the bus, I have, where is the bus? B16. I go to the mixer. B16 has Space Designer. Size is up to 170, the length is all the way up, and the wet is all the way up. So that is what I did to that sound. And each track has their own amount of it, because things like the overheads can handle a little bit more reverb on them, but the snare and the kick, not so much. So yeah, that is what I did effects wise. In automation, I have this kick gradually getting louder because I felt that I couldn't hear it as well. So I needed that to come up, but obviously not so loud when the rest of the drums come in so that they're not unbalanced. I'm doing a similar thing in the automation here, just that level up and then drops down for the chorus. None of the rest of the drums are automated except the snare hits. And the automation I have at the end of the track, I have so that this end section gradually just drops down until you can't hear it anymore with the rest of the track. Thankfully, most of the hard part with these drums was the comping. I found that I really didn't take too much time to get to the sound that I was comfortable with. And whilst this song is still in the mixing process, there still might be some tweaks that happen towards the end with mastering and getting it ready for a final mix. But as they are right now is pretty much how they're going to stay. So I'll play the section again with the track. And I will take all of the effects off the drums so that you can hear what they sounded like before I mixed them. I feel that the edits that I've made to these have really brought out the sound in the kit that I wanted, and it's really amplified the emotional impact of that end section that I wanted it to. So I'm very happy with my results, and that is my practical process for mixing the drums in Iris.